The unexpected emissary. The stellar horizon drifted through the vast emptiness of space, its engines humming at minimal power as Captain Maya Reeves checked the navigation console for the third time. Something was wrong. The coordinates didn't match her intended destination. The commercial freighter, loaded with medical supplies bound for the Arcturus colony, had veered dramatically off course during its last hyperspace jump. "Damn it," Maya muttered, pushing a lock of auburn hair from her face. "Computer, run diagnostic on navigation systems." "Diagnostic complete," the AI responded in its monotone voice. "No malfunctions detected. Current location, Vega Proxima System, Quadrant 7, uncharted territory." Maya frowned. Uncharted territory meant no established trade routes, no rescue beacons, and no immediate help if things went sideways. Standing at 5'9" with broad shoulders that spoke of years hauling cargo and making repairs in variable gravity, she wasn't easily intimidated. But this situation had her concerned. "Display nearest celestial bodies," she commanded. The holographic display lit up, revealing a strange planetary system. 3 planets orbited a blue-white star, but it was the second planet that caught Maya's attention. Scanner readings indicated an atmosphere compatible with human physiology, and more surprisingly, artificial structures on the surface. "Well, I'll be damned," she whispered. "Someone's home." Before she could make a decision about whether to approach, the ship lurched violently. "Warning, external gravitational force detected. Ship being pulled into controlled descent pattern." Maya scrambled for the controls, fighting against the invisible force dragging her ship toward the planet's surface. "Override. Full power to thrusters." Unable to comply. "Unknown technology is interfering with ship systems." Maya cursed under her breath as she watched her ship's trajectory lock onto what appeared to be a massive structure on the planet's surface. There was nothing she could do but prepare for landing. She rushed to secure loose equipment and strapped herself into the pilot's seat. The stellar horizon breached the atmosphere with a shuddering groan, descent systems activating automatically as the unknown force guided it down with unnerving precision. Through the view screen, Maya watched an alien landscape unfold below, vast cities constructed of crystalline materials that caught the light of their sun and fractured it into mesmerizing patterns. The ship settled onto a large platform with surprising gentleness. Maya checked her environmental readings: atmosphere breathable, temperature mild, radiation levels safe. She grabbed her emergency pack, secured her sidearm, and against better judgment, prepared to exit the ship. "Computer, maintain all systems on standby. Lock down all cargo. I'm going out to investigate. Captain Reeves, protocol suggests. Override protocol. If I'm not back in 6 hours, initiate emergency beacon and transmit all data to Earth Central Command." The airlock hissed open, and Maya stepped onto alien soil. The platform beneath her feet seemed to be made of a single piece of polished black stone that absorbed light rather than reflecting it. The air carried unfamiliar scents, something like ozone mixed with exotic spices. In the distance, a procession approached. Tall, elegant beings moved with fluid grace, their bodies draped in elaborate garments of shimmering materials that changed color with each movement. Their skin ranged from pale silver to deep indigo, and their features were symmetrical and beautiful in an otherworldly way. Maya activated her universal translator and stood her ground, one hand resting casually near her weapon. The procession stopped several meters away. One being stepped forward, towering nearly 8 feet tall with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that glowed with inner light. "Earth vessel," the translator interpreted, the alien's voice resonating with multiple harmonics. "Your arrival is unexpected but fortuitous. You come at the time of the Great Ascension." Maya maintained her composure. "My name is Captain Maya Reeves of the Earth commercial vessel Stellar Horizon. I mean no harm. My ship was pulled off course and brought here against my will." The alien inclined its head. "I am Varric, High Priest of the Luminary Order. Your vessel was guided here by the cosmic resonance, a sign of great significance. You will witness the ascension. Before Maya could protest, the procession parted, revealing a path toward a massive structure in the distance, a temple or palace constructed of the same light-absorbing material as the landing platform, but with intricate patterns that pulsed with energy. Come, Varric commanded, though the translator indicated it was more invitation than order. With limited options, Maya followed, staying alert as they led her through sprawling gardens of bioluminescent flora and past structures that defied Earth architecture. Citizens of this world stopped to observe her passing, their expressions ranging from curiosity to what Maya interpreted as concern. They entered the massive structure through gates that opened silently at their approach. Inside, the ceiling soared hundreds of meters overhead, supported by columns that seemed to be made of liquid light frozen in time. The procession continued through a series of chambers, each more elaborate than the last, until they reached what was clearly a ceremonial space. At the center of this vast chamber stood a crystalline pillar that pulsed with energy. Surrounding it were 12 figures in ornate regalia, chanting in a language that made Maya's translator emit static. But what truly caught her attention was the figure bound to the pillar. A female alien with skin the color of twilight and hair like spun silver struggled against bonds of pure energy. Unlike the others, whose movements were measured and ceremonial, this being's struggles were desperate and real. What's happening here? Maya demanded, stepping forward despite Varric's attempt to hold her back. The Chosen One ascends, Varric explained, gesturing toward the bound figure. Zara, daughter of our most ancient house, will become vessel to the cosmic entity that protects our world. It is our greatest honor, a sacrifice made once every 1,000 cycles to ensure our continued existence. Maya studied the scene more carefully. The bound alien, Zara, locked eyes with her. Even across species, Maya recognized the look of terror and plea for help. Does she consent to this honor? Maya asked, already knowing the answer. Varric seemed confused by the question. The Chosen One is selected by cosmic decree. Personal desire is irrelevant in the face of universal necessity. Maya had seen enough. Throughout human history, sacrifices were demanded by those in power, justified by tradition or religion. She'd be damned if she'd stand by and watch it happen, even on an alien world. Where I come from, Maya said, moving subtly toward the pillar, we believe in choice. Your beliefs are irrelevant here, Earth Vessel, Varric replied, his tone hardening. The ceremony has begun. The entity approaches. Above the pillar, the air began to distort, forming a swirling vortex of energy. The chanting intensified, and Zara's struggles became more desperate. Maya made her decision. With practiced precision, she drew her sidearm, a plasma disruptor designed for emergency defense, and fired at the energy bonds restraining Zara. The effect was instantaneous and catastrophic. The bonds shattered with a thunderous crack, releasing a shockwave that knocked everyone in the chamber to the ground. The vortex above writhed and expanded, its color shifting from serene blue to angry crimson. Alarms sounded throughout the structure. The 12 chanters scattered in panic as Maya rushed to Zara's side, helping the weakened alien to her feet. What have you done? Zara gasped, her voice somehow perfectly translated despite the chaos. You've doomed us all. I'm getting you out of here, Maya replied, supporting Zara's weight as they moved toward the exit. We can sort out cosmic consequences later. Varric's voice boomed through the chamber. Stop them. The entity will destroy our world if the vessel escapes. Guards materialized from hidden alcoves, wielding weapons that hummed with energy. Maya fired her disruptor again, not at the guards but at the crystalline columns supporting the chamber's ceiling. Fragments rained down, creating a barrier between them and their pursuers. My ship, Maya said as they ran through corridors that were now in chaos. If we can reach it. We need to reach the surface quickly, Zara interrupted, suddenly taking the lead. The Guardian vessels will launch soon. They are programmed to destroy any world where the Ascension is compromised. As they emerged into the open air, Maya saw massive ships rising from hidden bays across the city, sleek, predatory vessels pulsing with the same energy that had bound Zara. The sky above fractured like breaking glass, revealing swirling cosmic patterns that should not exist in normal spacetime. Something was coming through, something ancient and hungry. "What is that?" Maya asked as they raced toward the landing platform where the stellar horizon waited. Zara's expression was grim. "That is what I was supposed to contain. The entity that demands sacrifice. And now it comes unbound." As they reached the ship, Maya knew with absolute certainty that her impulsive act of compassion had changed everything, not just for Zara, not just for this world, but perhaps for the entire cosmos. The journey that began with a navigation error was about to become something far more significant, humanity's first stand against the cosmic powers that had dominated this corner of the galaxy for millennia. Maya activated the ship's entry ramp. "Welcome aboard the stellar horizon," she said to Zara. "Let's see what human ingenuity can do against ancient cosmic entities." Chains unbound. The stellar horizon shot through space, engines straining beyond recommended capacity. Maya's hands flew across the controls while Zara stood silently by the viewport, watching her homeworld grow smaller. "Guardian vessels launching," Maya announced, glancing at the scanner. 9 ships in pursuit." Zara turned, her twilight-colored skin shimmering with a bioluminescent glow that intensified with her agitation. "They're faster and more powerful than your vessel. We cannot outrun them." "Good thing I'm not planning to outrun them," Maya replied, inputting a complex series of commands. "Computer, activate stealth protocol beta and prepare for irregular jump sequence." The ship's lights dimmed as power redirected to the experimental stealth system, technically illegal in regulated space but invaluable in the outer territories where pirates roamed. Maya had acquired it through channels best not mentioned to authorities. "This won't hide us for long," Maya explained, "but it should mask our heat signature long enough to reach the Tannhauser Nebula. The radiation there will confuse their sensors." Zara moved closer, studying Maya with penetrating silver eyes. "You risked everything for a being you've never met, from a civilization you know nothing about. Why?" Maya didn't look up from her calculations. "Where I come from, we have a long, ugly history of powerful people demanding sacrifices from those with less power. I've never been good at respecting that particular tradition." "You misunderstand," Zara said, her voice carrying unexpected authority. "I am not some powerless victim. I am Zara Kavash, High Sentinel of the Luminary Conclave. My sacrifice was voluntary." Maya's hands froze over the controls. "Voluntary? You were chained to a pillar, fighting against your restraints." "The restraints were necessary to contain the energy of the ritual, not to force my participation," Zara explained. "What appeared to be struggle was my body's natural response to the entity's approach. And had you arrived 10 minutes later, I would have completed the ascension, becoming one with the entity while maintaining my consciousness to guide it." Maya's eyes narrowed. "Then why did you run with me?" "Because once the ritual was interrupted, it could not be completed in the traditional manner," Zara said grimly. "The entity now approaches unbound, hungry, and angry. The Guardian vessels are not pursuing us, they're evacuating my people before implementing planetary quarantine protocols." As if on cue, the ship's sensors detected a massive energy surge from the planet's surface. On the view screen, they watched as a swirling vortex of crimson and black energy engulfed the world. "What's happening?" Maya asked, horror evident in her voice. "The entity feeds," Zara replied quietly. "Without a vessel to channel and control its hunger, it consumes indiscriminately." The reality of what she had done hit Maya like a physical blow. Her impulsive act of perceived heroism had condemned an entire civilization. She slumped in her chair, the weight of billions of lives suddenly on her conscience. I didn't know," she whispered. "No, you didn't," Zara acknowledged without accusation. Your species has not yet encountered the cosmic entities, ancient beings that exist between dimensions, feeding on energy across multiple planes of existence. Zara placed a hand on Maya's shoulder, a gesture surprisingly human. For millennia, my people maintained the covenant, willingly offering a vessel to channel and direct the entities feeding. In return, it protected our world from other cosmic threats and granted us knowledge beyond our evolutionary capacity. The ship's sensors blared a warning. The Guardian vessels had changed course, now heading directly toward them. I need to focus, Maya said, guilt temporarily pushed aside as she returned to the controls. If they catch us, what happens? They will attempt to recapture me and perform an emergency ascension if possible, Zara explained. If not, they will destroy your ship to eliminate witnesses. Wonderful, Maya muttered, engaging the hyperdrive. Hold tight. The stellar horizon lurched forward, space-time distorting around them as they made the jump to hyperspace. The strain on the engines caused warning lights to flash across the console, but Maya ignored them. They had a 5-minute window at most before the drive would automatically disengage to prevent catastrophic failure. Your technology is primitive, Zara observed, though her tone suggested more curiosity than judgment. Gets me where I need to go, Maya replied defensively. Most of the time. It won't get us far enough, Zara said. The Guardian vessels can track hyperspace signatures. We need an alternative. Maya shot her a skeptical look. I'm open to suggestions. Zara hesitated, then removed what appeared to be a simple bracelet from her wrist. The metal, if it was metal, shifted like liquid as she manipulated it into a small disc. This contains coordinates to a hidden outpost maintained by the Resistance, she explained. Resistance? Maya raised an eyebrow. I thought your sacrifice was voluntary. For me, yes. But the tradition of ascension has become corrupted over generations. What began as a sacred honor freely given has, for many, become a burden imposed by the ruling houses. Zara's expression darkened. Not all who are chosen wish to be vessels. Some of us within the conclave have worked secretly to find an alternative to the covenant. She placed the disc on the navigation console, where it merged with the ship's systems. New coordinates appeared on the display, a location deep in uncharted space. These coordinates lead to a research facility where scientists from various worlds work to understand and potentially neutralize the entities, Zara continued. We've managed to keep its existence hidden from the Guardians, but we've yet to find a viable solution. The hyperdrive disengaged with a worrying shudder, returning them to normal space near a massive asteroid field. Maya immediately activated the stealth systems again and maneuvered into the field, using the larger asteroids for additional cover. This resistance, Maya said as she carefully navigated through the floating rocks, how many are involved? Thousands across 12 worlds, Zara replied. Many are former chosen ones who escaped before their ascension, others are scientists and philosophers who question the morality of our covenant with the entities. Maya considered this information. And you? If you were willing to be sacrificed, why are you also part of this resistance? Zara's expression became complex, a mixture of determination and sorrow that transcended species differences. Because sacrifice should always be a choice, freely made. And because after centuries of study, I've come to believe the entities are not gods to be appeased, but parasites that can be confronted. The ship's scanner beeped, indicating pursuit vessels had emerged from hyperspace nearby. Maya cursed and pushed the engines harder, weaving through increasingly dense asteroid formations. If we make it to this outpost of yours, Maya said, what then? I've still got a shipment of medical supplies to deliver, and now apparently a cosmic entity to deal with. Despite the gravity of their situation, Zara's features arranged into what might have been a smile. Then we introduce the entities to something they've never encountered before. Which is human unpredictability, Zara said. In all our millennia of cosmic research, we've never encountered a species quite like yours, capable of both tremendous compassion and shocking impulsivity. The entities operate on fixed patterns across vast timescales. They cannot comprehend spontaneous deviation from established protocols. A massive explosion rocked the ship as a Guardian vessel fired into the asteroid field, more concerned with elimination than capture now. Maya executed a series of evasive maneuvers that would have incapacitated most passengers, but Zara remained standing, adjusting effortlessly to the ship's violent movements. "That's your big plan?" Maya asked incredulously. "Human unpredictability." "It's more than that," Zara explained, gripping a support rail as the ship spun to avoid another blast. "Our scientists have developed theoretical models suggesting the entities can be neutralized, but we lack the specific application, the catalyst that would trigger the reaction. Your species' unique approach to problem-solving might provide what we've been missing." Maya guided the ship toward a particularly dense cluster of asteroids, then cut engines and power to all non-essential systems. They drifted, a silent speck of metal among enormous rocks. "So I accidentally interrupt an ancient cosmic ritual, potentially doom your world, and now I'm your best hope." Maya summarized with bitter irony. "The universe works in mysterious ways," Zara replied with that almost human smile again. "Sometimes chaos must precede creation. Sometimes chains must be broken before true freedom can emerge." As they floated in silence, watching Guardian vessels sweep the perimeter of the asteroid field, Maya reflected on the strange path that had led her here. A navigation error had thrust her into a cosmic conflict she barely understood, yet somehow she felt more purposeful than she had in years of routine freight runs. "If we survive this," Maya said finally, "I want your word that we'll find a way to help your people, the ones evacuated and any left behind." "You have it," Zara promised. "Though you should know that helping them might require confronting forces beyond your comprehension." "Wouldn't be the first time I've been out of my depth," Maya replied, slowly reactivating the ship's systems as the Guardian vessels moved to a different sector. "Set a course for your secret base, High Sentinel. Let's see what happens when human unpredictability meets cosmic inevitability." As the stellar horizon slipped away from the asteroid field and prepared for another jump, neither woman knew that their alliance would spark a revolution that would ultimately reshape the relationship between sentient beings and the cosmic forces that had manipulated them for eons. The chains of sacrifice had been broken. What would rise in their place remained to be seen. The stellar horizon reaches the hidden resistance outpost, a space station disguised as a derelict mining facility orbiting a dead star. Maya and Zara are greeted by Commander Tavik, a scarred veteran who leads the multi-species coalition opposing the Entity Covenant. Inside the facility, Maya discovers representatives from 12 worlds, including several escaped, chosen ones, like Zara. She learns that each planet in this sector faces the same ritual sacrifice cycle, with billions living in fear of being selected. Tavik reveals their research: the entities aren't gods but interdimensional parasites that evolved to feed on sentient energy. The protection they offer is merely self-interest, keeping their food source viable. The Resistance has developed a theoretical weapon that could sever the entity's connection to normal space, but the technology requires a catalyst they haven't found, one that can withstand the quantum disruption created during deployment. When Guardian vessels detect the outpost and launch an assault, Maya realizes human neural patterns are uniquely resistant to the quantum disruption. The Resistance's scientist, Dr. Nix, confirms this theory: human consciousness could provide the missing link. As the battle rages outside, Maya volunteers to test the experimental technology despite the risks. Meanwhile, Zara contacts sympathizers within her government, discovering a growing faction tired of being controlled by the entities. The Resistance prepares to evacuate as Guardian forces breach the station's outer defenses. Maya, working with Dr. Nix, successfully interfaces with the prototype, proving human neural pathways can indeed stabilize the quantum matrix. With Guardian troops closing in, Maya, Zara, and a core team escape aboard the stellar horizon with the prototype weapon. Their new destination, Earth. If they can convince human authorities to join the fight, they might finally have a chance against the entities. As they flee through an uncharted wormhole, Maya realizes humanity's first contact with alien civilization has thrust them into an ancient war, one they never asked for but might be uniquely equipped to end. Maya and Zara reach Earth, initially detained by suspicious military authorities. Admiral Chen recognizes the cosmic threat and arranges an emergency global summit. Earth's governments agree to join the resistance after viewing evidence of the entity's destruction. Scientists adapt the quantum weapon using human neural interfaces, while military forces prepare a defensive fleet. Zara's loyalist contacts reveal the entities are mobilizing on an unprecedented scale, sensing the first real threat to their dominance in millennia. Commander Tavik arrives with remnants of the resistance fleet. The combined Earth resistance forces establish a defensive position in the Proxima Centauri system. Maya is appointed liaison between human and alien forces, working to overcome cultural barriers as they integrate technologies and tactics. The weapon is installed on Earth's flagship, the EDF Defiant, with Maya as its neural pilot. As the entity forces approach, Maya addresses the Allied fleet, "Today we fight not just for our worlds, but for the right to determine our own destinies. No more sacrifices to cosmic parasites." The battle lines are drawn as the entity's forces emerge from dimensional rifts, setting the stage for humanity's first interstellar conflict. The entity Armada emerged from dimensional rifts, a nightmarish fleet of vessels that defied conventional physics. Their surfaces rippled with dark energy, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Behind them loomed the entity itself, a vast cosmic presence that distorted spacetime around it. "All vessels, maintain formation," Admiral Chen's voice remained steady despite the impossible odds they faced. "Remember your training." On the bridge of the EDF Defiant, Maya sat in the neural interface chair, her consciousness partly merged with the ship's systems. The prototype quantum weapon hummed with potential energy, crystals pulsing in rhythm with her heartbeat. "Neural synchronization at 87%, reported Dr. Nix, monitoring Maya's vital signs. "Quantum matrix stable." Zara stood at Maya's side, her silver eyes fixed on the approaching armada. "The entity recognizes me. It's angry." The first wave of Guardian vessels accelerated toward the human resistance fleet, energy weapons charging. "All ships, defensive pattern Alpha," ordered Admiral Chen. "Interceptors, engage at will." The battle erupted in a dazzling display of advanced technology. Earth's ships, enhanced with resistance tech, performed better than expected, but the Guardian vessels possessed millennia of refinement. For every Guardian ship disabled, 2 human vessels were lost. "We need to get closer to the entity," Maya said, wincing as the neural interface fed battle data directly into her consciousness. "The weapon's range is limited." "That's suicide," Commander Tavik objected from his position at tactical. "The gravitational distortion alone would tear the ship apart." "Not if we modify our shields to create a quantum tunnel," Zara suggested. "My people have theoretical models." "Theory won't save us when we're being crushed into atoms," Tavik interrupted. Maya closed her eyes, allowing the neural interface to expand her perception. Through it, she sensed something unexpected about the entity, a pattern, a rhythm, almost like. "It's afraid," she whispered. "What?" Admiral Chen asked. "The entity, it's not just angry, it's afraid," Maya explained, eyes still closed. "It's never faced organized resistance before. Its patterns are erratic, defensive. We can use that." Maya's eyes snapped open. "Admiral, I need direct control of the Defiant." Chen hesitated only briefly before nodding. "Tactical control transferring to neural interface." The Defiant surged forward, breaking formation as Maya guided it through gaps in the Guardian fleet. The ship shuddered under enemy fire, but Maya anticipated each attack, making adjustments microseconds faster than any human pilot could manage. "Quantum weapon at 95% charge," Dr. Nix reported. "But we're still too far for effective deployment." "We won't be for long," Maya replied, her voice strained as she pushed both herself and the ship to their limits. The Defiant dove toward the heart of the entity's manifestation, alarms blaring as the ship entered the gravitational distortion zone. Hull integrity failing, warned the ship's AI. Structural collapse imminent. Zara, now! Maya shouted. Zara activated the modified shield system. A bubble of stable spacetime formed around the Defiant, protecting it from the worst of the distortion effects. We have 90 seconds before shield collapse, Zara warned. Maya directed all her focus into the neural interface, connecting more deeply with the quantum weapon than any previous test had allowed. Her consciousness expanded, touching the edge of the entity's awareness. In that moment of contact, Maya understood what the resistance scientists never could: the entities weren't simply parasites feeding on civilizations. They were ancient, frightened beings, survivors of a universe that existed before our own. Their need for sacrifice wasn't mere hunger but existential terror, the fear of fading into cosmic irrelevance. I understand now, Maya said, blood trickling from her nose as the neural load increased. The weapon won't work, not as designed. What are you talking about? Tavik demanded. We're seconds from destruction. Trust me, Maya whispered, redirecting the weapon's energy. Instead of attacking the entity, Maya opened a channel, a bridge between human consciousness and the entity's vast awareness. Through that connection flowed not destruction but understanding. We don't need to be enemies, Maya projected toward the cosmic being. We don't need to sacrifice to survive. We can coexist. The entity's response came not in words but overwhelming sensations, eons of solitude, fear of extinction, the comfort of predictable cycles. Change is possible, Maya insisted, sharing humanity's history, its struggles, failures, and capacity for growth. We learn to overcome our nature. You can too. For a moment that stretched into eternity, the battle around them seemed to freeze. The entity's consciousness enveloped Maya's, testing, probing for deception. Finding none, the cosmic being hesitated. That hesitation, the first in countless millennia of fixed patterns, created the opening. Not for destruction, but transformation. Quantum matrix reconfiguring, Dr. Nix announced in astonishment. It's creating a stable interface between dimensions. The entity's manifestation began to change, shifting from chaotic darkness to structured, luminous patterns. The Guardian vessels powered down, their purpose suddenly obsolete. What's happening? Admiral Chen demanded. A new covenant, Zara explained, watching in wonder. Not of sacrifice, but partnership. The neural interface disengaged, leaving Maya gasping, weak but conscious. The entity existed before our universe, she explained. It fed on sacrifice because it knew no other way to connect with our dimension. We've shown it another path. As the transformed entity spread throughout the battle zone, damaged ships, both human and resistance, began to repair themselves, enveloped in gentle energy fields. It's helping us, Tavik said in disbelief. That's the new agreement, Maya confirmed. Protection freely given, not coerced through sacrifice. Knowledge shared, not hoarded by priesthoods. In the days that followed, the entity withdrew its destructive presence from all 12 worlds, releasing them from the cycle of sacrifice. Representatives from Earth joined a new interstellar council, with Maya serving as humanity's first ambassador. The resistance became unnecessary, transforming instead into a scientific exchange dedicated to understanding the cosmos. Zara, no longer bound by her role as sentinel, partnered with Earth scientists to develop new technologies based on the entity's knowledge. 6 months after the confrontation, Maya stood on the observation deck of the new Earth embassy on Zara's homeworld, watching as citizens celebrated their first Ascension festival without sacrifice, a holiday now commemorating freedom rather than submission. You know, Maya said to Zara, who stood beside her, when my navigation system malfunctioned that day, I was just thinking about how to avoid getting fired for another late delivery. Zara smiled, she'd become quite good at human expressions. The universe has a way of putting the right people in the wrong places. Is that an ancient luminary proverb? Maya asked. No, Zara replied, gazing out at the celebration below. Just something I learned from a human who couldn't mind her own business. They watched in comfortable silence as fireworks illuminated the twilight sky, not just celebrating the end of sacrifice, but the beginning of something new. A universe where destiny wasn't fixed by ancient pacts, but written day by day through countless acts of choice. Humanity had taken its first steps into a much larger cosmos, not as conquerors or victims, but as catalysts for change. And that, perhaps, was the most human role of all.